There is a mathematical truth about life that very few of us dare to sit down and actually calculate. Let's say your parents are 60 years old now, and they live until they are 80. That means we have 20 years left with them. But if you are a young person building a career in a big city, a year, you might only visit your parents twice. Only twice a year during the holidays. Each time is about 3 days. 20 years multiplied by 6 days, you actually only have exactly 120 days left to see your parents in person. We always think we have so much time, but the truth is, time is running out with every single blink of our eyes. We spend thousands of days meeting deadlines and sitting in useless office meetings, but we only have a few days left for the people we love. Welcome back to my podcast. I am Owen. Today, I don't want to talk about boring theories, and I don't want to judge anyone. I just want us to sit down and answer one core question: what are you really living for? To be completely honest, the reason I created this podcast channel is because I am trying to save myself. I am terrified of getting lost in the endless cycle of work and realizing one day that I missed the most meaningful things in life. I truly hope this channel will succeed and receive your support and subscriptions. Not because I want to be famous, no, but because I want to have stability and enough freedom to live every moment fully before I and the people I love grow too old. Joining me today to talk about this is Laura. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Owen. Hearing your math about the 120 days makes me freeze for a few seconds. It sounds cruel, but it is the reality, happening in almost every home in big cities. Lately, when I video call my mother, I feel shocked to see her hair turning gray so fast and her wrinkles getting deeper. But I am always busy. I always say, "Mom, I am running a project," or "Mom, I am in a meeting." You are so right, Owen. We are caught in an invisible trap. We sell our time to make money, and then we hope to use that money to buy back the time we lost. But things like the limited time of our parents or our own youth can never be bought back, even with millions of dollars.
Exactly. We run after superficial values outside and forget to organize our own lives. I remember a classic lesson from a university professor. He placed an empty glass jar on the table and filled it with large rocks. Then he asked his students, "Is the jar full?" The students said, "Yes, it is full." Then he poured a bag of small pebbles into the jar. The pebbles rolled into the open spaces between the large rocks. He asked again, "Is it full?" The students said, "Yes." Finally, he poured a bag of sand into the jar, and the sand filled up all the remaining space. The professor said, "This jar represents your life. The large rocks are the core things: your health, your family, your dreams, and the people you love. Pebbles are your job, your car, your house. And the sand represents the small, trivial things. If you pour the sand into the jar first, you will have no room left for the large rocks."
That story is so deep, Owen. But let me analyze it from a psychological angle. The tragedy of modern people today is that we choose to fill our jars with sand. First, we spend 14 hours a day checking emails, chasing KPIs, and scrolling through social media. That is the sand. We are so busy making money that we forget we only live once. When the jar is completely full of sand, we look back and realize the big rocks, like health and family happiness, are left outside. Do you see many people around you doing this, Owen?
I see it every single day, Laura. Some people even mistake the sand for the big rocks. They lie to themselves that they must earn a lot of money and own luxury apartments or expensive cars to make their family happy. But they don't know that what a child really needs after school is a parent sitting at the dinner table listening to their stories. They don't need a parent who just hands them a stack of cash and then runs off to late-night drinking parties. They are trading real rocks for fake, shiny sand.
To prove your point, Owen, I want to share a true story I read on an online forum. This story completely changed the way I look at money. There was a very wealthy and successful businessman, but he was always busy. He had an 8-year-old son. One day, the little boy waited at the door for a very long time. When his father finally came home late, the boy walked into the office and asked, "Dad, how much do you earn in an hour?" The father was tired, so he shouted, "That is none of your business. Why do you ask such stupid questions?" The child was scared, but still whispered, "I just want to know, Dad. Please, tell me." The father sighed and said, "If you must know, I earn $50 an hour." The little boy looked down. He opened his tiny hand, holding wrinkled paper money and small coins that he had saved from his breakfast money for half a year. He counted the money carefully, looked up at his father, and said, "Dad, I have exactly $50 here. Can I buy 1 hour of your time tomorrow? I just want you to come home early and have dinner with me."
Wow, Laura, every time I hear this story, I feel a lump in my throat. It is a direct slap to anyone who uses the excuse, "I am busy earning money for my child's future," to hide their current neglect. We think money can fix everything, but childhood only happens once. If you miss playing with your child when they are 8, then when they are 18, even if you give them $50,000 to sit with you, they won't care anymore. By then, the distance between parents and children is already two different worlds.
You are absolutely right, Owen. The philosopher Seneca once wrote a very famous line, "The problem is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." We are wasting our youth and our most sacred connections just to collect material things. In the end, are we earning money to live, or are we living just to be a tool for making money?
Your question is exactly the knot we need to untie, Laura. Let me share a very real story from my own family about the price of being a tool for making money. It is the story of my uncle. His whole life was the perfect definition of success in society's eyes. He worked non-stop, with no days off. He never dared to eat the food he liked or buy the clothes he wanted. He saved up enough to buy 3 pieces of land in the city center. He always told my parents, "When I retire at 60, I will have a lot of money. I will travel the world, see the Eiffel Tower in France, and watch the cherry blossoms in Japan. That is when I will truly enjoy life. On his 60th birthday, he officially retired and booked a luxury tour to Europe. But do you know what the tragedy was, Laura? Because he sat in an office for too many years with bad posture, worked through the night, and skipped meals, he developed severe knee arthritis and chronic stomach pain. His dream trip to Paris became a nightmare, where he had to sit on a tour bus all day, looking through the glass window, watching young people walk and laugh on the streets under the beautiful sunset. He could not walk more than 50 meters. He could not eat any French specialties because his 60-year-old stomach could not handle them. He looked at the sunset in Paris and tears rolled down his face because he felt so helpless. He called me and said, "I have money now, Owen. I have a lot of money, but I no longer have the body to spend it."
Oh, Owen, your uncle's story breaks my heart. It is the ultimate warning for the mindset of saving life for later. We always treat our bodies like eternal machines that will stay young forever. We spend our health, our blood, and our tears to get numbers in a bank account, and then we dream of using those numbers to buy back our health when we are old. That is the most foolish financial equation in the world.
Yes, Lord. This body is the only vehicle we have to experience the world. If this vehicle is broken, the destination means nothing, even if it is covered in gold. When you are old and your eyes are blurry, a beautiful view is just a smudge. When your ears are ringing, a beautiful song is just noise. When your teeth are gone, luxury food tastes like wax. That is why I realized I want to live a life where every year that passes, I can smile and say, I used my youth to its full capacity. I don't want to wait until my body is broken to start learning how to live. To help our listeners avoid the late tears of my uncle in Paris, I want to invite everyone to do exercise number 9 right now. This exercise is called the interview on the deathbed.
The name sounds dark and heavy, Owen, but I believe only things close to life and death are strong enough to wake people up from their dreams of money. How do we do this exercise?
If you are in a quiet space, please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and breathe out slowly. Now, imagine you are in the final days of your life. You are lying on a hospital bed, and you can hear the slow beep of the heart monitor. Suddenly, a reporter from the future comes to your side and asks you one single question. In your 80 years of life, what is the one thing you did that makes you most proud? And what is the one thing you did not do that makes you regret the most? Before you close your eyes,
I am certain that in that final moment, Owen, no one will answer, I am proud because I bought the latest iPhone, or I am proud because my social media page had thousands of followers. Nobody will regret not working extra hours at the office either. People will only regret the artistic dreams they threw away, the places they never visited, and the words of love they never said to the people they cared about. As Mark Twain said, the 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Your exercise, Owen, is exactly what we need to find that why before it is too late. This exercise is a bucket of cold water, waking us up from our meaningless busyness. But Owen. I have to argue a little bit, from a realistic perspective. We wake up, we cry, we know we want to travel and be free. But the reality out there is very harsh. Tomorrow when we open our eyes, rent must be paid, tuition for the kids must be sent, and electricity bills still arrive. If we tell our listeners to drop everything to follow their passion, aren't we being irresponsible? Aren't we selling them a romantic illusion?
Your question is very sharp, Laura, and I completely agree with you. I don't deny that reality. Designing your life is not a blind jump off a cliff. It is a strategic and patient shift. You still have to work your 8 hours to take care of your financial responsibilities. That is the duty of an adult. But the difference lies in the 4 hours after work. Instead of throwing those hours into useless drinking parties or scrolling social media to watch other people's glamorous lives, spend exactly 1 hour to feed your own dream. Just like how I am making this podcast, it is tiring. I have to stay up late to edit, but it makes me feel like I am really living, not just existing to wait for a paycheck.
I see your point now, Owen. We don't need a massive amount of money to start living the life we want, and we don't need to quit our jobs. Some people choose a minimalist lifestyle. Their income is just enough for food and basic needs, but they get to do the work they love. They have time to read books, plant trees, and be with their children. That is the absolute enough of their soul. They accept not buying luxury cars to trade for freedom of time. There is a poem I really love that says, "All our lives we swim in the same river, eat the same cake, sleep the same sleep. Until one day, we see ourselves disappear in the familiar look of the mirror." Don't let yourself disappear in a life pre-programmed by society. Move your steering wheel just 1 degree every day, Owen.
Exactly, just a 1 degree shift every day. After a long journey of 3 or 5 years, the destination you reach will be a completely different ocean. Thank you for a conversation full of deep thoughts and light today.
Thank you, Owen, for having the courage to create this podcast channel, so we have a safe place to take off our masks and speak the truth to each other.
Dear listeners, when this podcast episode ends and the sound goes silent, I hope you do not immediately scroll to another entertainment video to fill the void. Don't let the outside noise rush back into your mind. Let yourself sit in the silence of your room for exactly 60 seconds. Look deep into your own eyes in the mirror and ask yourself seriously, if tomorrow you start to grow old and get a little weaker, what is the one thing you didn't do today that will make you regret the most? What are you really living for? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below sharing your story to support my journey. Your companionship is the fuel for me to keep maintaining and developing this channel. Thank you so much. Wish you a life of freedom, peace, and fulfillment.